Wilson the first time. In New England today, around 80 houses that were built in the 17th century are still standing. Many of these houses and the documents relating to them have been thoroughly studied, and some of the houses have been carefully restored to their original condition. These early houses of New England are the greatest single source of knowledge about domestic architecture of the 17th century, particularly about details of plan and construction. All 13th century houses were not alike. There was some variety in their full plans, with each house being shaped by the circumstances of the family and the characteristics of the site. Nevertheless, it's possible to identify the three most common plan types, which were the one-room plan, the two-room plan, and the added lean-to plan. We can even figure out the order in which they probably evolved. The one-room plan was the simplest and the earliest design. It was used in the early cottages at Plymouth and Salem, dating back to the 1670s. It remained common in smaller and poorer dwellings throughout the century. In the one-room plan, the front door opened in a small entry room, which was then called the porch. In the porch, there was a steep staircase built up against a massive chimney. The large main room was a combination living, dining, cooking room called the hall. In this room, there was a huge fireplace set into the chimney mouth. The staircase in the porch led to one large sleeping room upstairs. The second house design was the two-room plan, which was simply the one-room plan with a parlor added at the other side of the chimney and porch. The result was a house with two fireplaces, one in the hall and one in the parlor, that were set back to back in the central chimney structure in several early examples of the design. The parlor was actually built onto an older one-room house, enlarging the smaller house. But more common in later examples, both rooms were built at the same time when families could afford it. Upstairs, there were two sleeping rooms called the hall chambers, and the parlor chamber after the room below each. The third design, the added lean-to plan, was the result of an addition at the back of the house, making this the largest of the three plans. The lean-to addition had roof rafters leaning against the second-story wall of the main house. Rafter Rafters leaning against the second-story wall of the main house. The added space was used as a kitchen. The cooking was done in a fireplace added to the back of the central chimney structure.